Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Happy Thursday. I wanted to sit out here today. I've been inspired by reading this book, The Comfort of Crows, and so I was like, I'm gonna come back to the front porch and vlog instead of sitting inside. Alex got home really early today, and so he was like, do you want me to sit downstairs? Do you want to sit upstairs? Where do you want to be? And I was like, no, I said, I think I'm gonna vlog outside today. He was like, it's cold outside. And I was like, I went outside, I got the mail outside. It's not too cold. He goes, it's pretty cold outside. And I was like, well, I think I want to sit outside today and just look at the trees and look at the sky and take it all in. And then I came out here. It's pretty cold out here. It's pretty cold out here. It's currently, I just looked at the microphone. The tripod is a treadmill and the microwave is now the microphone. I just looked at the microwave as I grabbed my coffee to come out here, and it was 5:54 when I walked out here. I did not look at the temperature today, but if I had to guess, I'm starting a weather channel. No, I am. I'm starting a weather channel. Peter says it's 34 degrees outside today. It doesn't look like there's a chance of snow, but I feel like there's a big storm coming. Do you think I should start a weather channel? Oh my God, I should so start a weather channel, shouldn't I? I brought out my... I just said on my drama video that by the end of this year, I might have 2 new channels, which I might. I said I was never going to start... I said I was never going to start another channel after this last one, but... that might not. I might start. What if I had 9 channels by the end of 2025? That might be the biggest new news, but we'll get to that in just a second. Let me light these candles really quick. I also, because I'm so inspired by this book that I'm reading called The Comfort of Crows by Margaret Wrinkle, I'm so inspired by this book to just be in the stillness of nature that I was like, you know what? Maybe we'll take a little twilight walk too. Maybe we'll take a... Is this twilight? I think twilight is like right before it goes dark, right? Maybe we'll take a little twilight walk around the neighborhood and we'll look at the lake and we'll look at the woods and stuff like that. So first things first, let's light the candles. Oh my gosh, you guys, the other night when I was sitting out here, was it the other night that I vlogged out here? I had the candles lit. I think it was the night that it was really nice out. And it was like 68 or whatever the other night. And I vlogged... Was that the night that I vlogged out here? I don't remember, but it was the last time that I vlogged out here and I had all... Oh my gosh, look at this coffee. It's so hot. It's like steamy. Look at that. But anyway, I thought it was the candle. I was like, what is going on? And then I looked over there and it's the coffee. Woo! This is the peppermint coffee. I'm trying to get rid of it. So the other night, I think I thought I was going to, like when I got done with my vlog, while I was uploading, I was going to come out here and I was going to sit and I was going to like read a meditation or two. But I didn't end up doing that. And so it was like 2 hours later, I came out here for something, I think to talk to somebody on the phone, and the candles were still lit. And I'm really weird about like blowing out candles and making sure that they're out and stuff like that. I'm afraid to, okay, so it took me a while to get the tripod settled, so I'm afraid to even touch the camera. It's one of the reasons why I kind of am like afraid to take a walk too, because I hold the tripod while I'm walking. And so if I do, the camera's just gonna probably go to the side, but I'm kind of afraid to adjust it because I'm afraid it's gonna fall aside. Okay, I cannot wait for my new tripods to come that Karen suggested that I get on eBay. So I have 2 of them coming and I'm really, really excited about it. I have not gotten an email about my tripods being sent, but my Stevie Nicks shirt is one of my Stevie Nicks shirts. I think I got, did I get 2 or did I get 3? I can't remember, but they're on their way. It's on its way. One of them is. So forget the tripods. We don't need we just need the Stevie Nicks t-shirt. Anyway, yeah, that's one of my fears of like taking a walk, is that the camera will just be like, but I kind of really want to look at nature. I don't know why. I just do. I'm really, to be honest with you, I would really like one more big snowstorm of the year, and then I'm ready for spring. I'm ready for the warm weather. The other day when the temperature, I guess it was like, we beat that temperature for that day, and it's been like that. It hadn't been that warm in like 20 years or something like that, but at the airport it was 68 degrees. Remember I looked that weather up the other day and it said it was 68 degrees, whatever. Oh, I guess I was inside that day. I don't know. Anyway, that day, I guess, was like, people were talking about it. I saw it on the Facebook and things like that. The people were like, oh my God, we hit the highest temperature. It was 68, which is crazy in February in Indiana that it was 68. But I just was like, it boosted my mood that day. I remember my mom, like when I was younger, you know, I'd say, oh, I love the snow and I love the cold, and I did, and I still kind of do sometimes, you know. I was excited about the ice storm that we didn't even get last night. But I do get excited about all that stuff, but at the same time, my mom would say to me, she'd say, when you get older, she would say, I know the snow is pretty and the cold and all that kind of stuff, but she was like, when you get older, she was like, it'll make you so sad when you wake up, and it's like, it feels like, you know, winter is just going to last forever. And it's like, you know, gray and dreary outside, and it just kind of brings you down and makes you kind of sad. She's like, when you get older, you'll feel that way, and you won't love winter as much. And I can remember thinking, oh no, I'll always love winter. I'll always love winter. And now I'm kind of like, I mean, I do still love, like, the idea of a snow. If we had snow out here and it was pretty and all that kind of stuff, I would love that. This kind of day today where it's just cold and it's gray. I mean, it's actually not even that gray today. It was pretty sunny most of the day. But it's just cold and the trees are, you know, like dead and stuff like that. I don't know. Reading this book has really helped me because it's given me a new appreciation for, like, nature in wintertime. Like I just said, like, it's like dead outside and stuff like that, but that's not really necessarily the case. There's still, you know, so much wildlife out there. I don't know, it's just giving me a different perspective. I'm looking at this wall right here. I want to show you guys, but again, like, I'm afraid of the camera falling. So, when was it? It was yesterday. Was it? Today's Thursday. Yesterday when I was waiting for Caroline. I don't think I said this yesterday. When I was waiting for Caroline to come pick me up, these two pickup trucks pulled out. And so, or pulled up, and this guy got out of the car and started, like, walking over here. And I was like, can I help you? He was a real nice guy. And he was like, no, I just need to look at the siding of your house and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, what's going on? And I was like, are you from, like, the maintenance? He's like, no, we're, like, a contracted company. And he's like, we're putting a bid out because these condos are getting painted. And I go, our condos getting painted this year? Because I can never remember what year it is. He was like, yeah. He goes, which one? I said, this is mine right here. He's like, yeah. He pointed, like, to my neighbors, this one, hers next door. He said that we're all getting painted. He said there's 20 condos that are getting painted this summer, so they're putting a bid in for it. So I was like, I showed him this thing over here. He's like, oh, they'll fix that. It's still down over there where the leaf blower took the paint off the side of the wall. But then I came home, and they're testing the siding because they think they have to put new siding on a lot of the condos too. He told us, like, or he told me, and then Caroline pulled up and he was talking to Caroline too. He was so nice. I used to love gauged ears. I was talking about piercings and stuff the other day. I wanted to get my ears gauged for a long time. Not like where they're, like, you know, like looping down, but, like, I love just, like, the plastic gauges that people have. I don't remember what they're called, like plugs or something that they had in their ears. And he was probably Alex's age. So the guy in front of him was his dad, and they own this, like, you know, painting company together or whatever. And so they're, like, putting this bid in. He said they did it a couple years ago, or last summer. And so, because he told us that, this was when Caroline got here, that, like, one panel of the siding, because the siding is so old and so it's hard to find a match, that it costs, like, one condo, because, we were talking about, like, the HOA. He goes, everybody talks about the HOA fees in here. He's like, that they're so happy that they're getting painted because the HOA fees went up. And I said, oh, yeah, everybody talks about it. And he was like, he knew exactly how much it went up and everything. I was like, you have been talking to people. He's like, yeah, everybody kind of, like, you know, talks to me a lot. They think I'm maintenance. So I'm like, oh, okay. But he said this condo they fixed on the other side, it needed, like, an entire wall of siding redone, and that condo cost them $10,000 to do last year because the siding is so hard to find. There's, like, one place in Indiana that you can find it. Well, I came home, and they must have been, like, chipping at the siding to see, like, how much it's holding on or whatever. They didn't do it. There's, like, one space over here. I'm just going to show you guys. I'm afraid of taking the camera, but okay. So here is the winter mulch. You can see right here, this is where the leaf blower did the paint, okay? So right here was where they were, like, chipping the paint to see, like, if this is, like, still good back here or, like, whatever. So our wall is pretty good. But then when you go over to the side of our neighbors, like, look at what they did to this wall. I mean, this was completely, there was none of that was in there before. So they were, like, testing all of this, and look how bad it is. So they're gonna have to, like, redo a lot of this. So my neighbor was telling me that they're gonna have to like redo a lot of the siding and stuff on a lot of these condos. I guess our side doesn't need to be done, but her side does. That's her garage, which is really interesting to me because a couple years ago, oh, see, hold on. Oh, it seems really tight right now. Please hold. Please hold. Was it like 2 summers ago? She came into her garage and she parked, but she didn't put her car in park, and it like rolled, like she was like trying to stop it and it like rolled. Did I tell you guys this? I think I told you this. And it like rolled into, she stopped it right as it hit the wall, because that's her garage. It like, she stopped it right before it hit the, like, or right as it hit the wall, but like it pushed the siding through. So they had to redo all the siding on that wall. So some of that siding is pretty new. So I don't know why it got like, it looks so warped and so bad. I don't know anything about that. But anyway, he was super, super nice. I talked to him for like 10 minutes, and then Caroline came up. And then he introduced me to his dad, and his dad was really nice and stuff like that. And I was like, well, I hope you guys get the bid. And he was like, yeah, I hope so too. He's like, I don't think that there's a lot of companies bidding on it. So they do a really nice job when they redo everything out here. I meant to ask him like what color we're getting. I don't think he would probably know with a bid anyway. But I'm kind of wondering what color they're going to paint our condo. I'm hoping that they don't paint it. Like our neighbors across the street have this kind of like, it's like a darker beige than us. I don't love it. But this condo down here is like gray and white. It's very Cape Cod-ish. It's really cute. So we got to pick the colors last time. So I don't know, we might be able to pick the colors this time. But we had different neighbors last time that they painted it. God, it's been so long. I don't even know if she was in that condo then. I think it would have been Norma, the woman that passed away that was like 100. I think she would have been living there still then. Or maybe the condo was like, when they painted it the last time, it was like in between owners. I can't remember. But it was a different owner on the other side. I wasn't even part of the process. Like Alex and her like picked it up, because we had to like pick the same colors like these 3 condos. And so she and Alex picked it, but they didn't give us like all the options. And so they went with like this like light beige kind of color. But we didn't know. Then that following summer, they painted this one that's like this like grayish blue and white. And Alex was like, if we had known that that was an option, that's what we want. They don't want all the buildings to look similar. They want them to look somewhat different in here. But there's none near us that are that color. And so if we can do that grayish blue, that's what we want. And I know they want that too. My neighbor's next door, and she'll just go with whatever. She doesn't really care about that stuff. So anyway. But yeah, they were really, really nice. But then when I came home from my dental appointment yesterday, I like looked at the wall. I was telling Alex about it, and I was like, what is going on with the wall over there? And I told him, he goes, oh, they were probably like testing it to see like if they need to replace the siding. And I go, but why would they do that like in February when we can still get like bad weather and stuff like that? It'll just destroy it more. Well, apparently they're going to replace all this. Which I just realized, it just went through my head that there was going to be like major construction out here then, when I'm like, it takes them a couple days per condo, which means how am I going to do, like the bedroom's right upstairs. Where am I going to film? Oh, I have to tell you something else. Okay, so this Margaret Wrinkle book that I'm reading, I would highly recommend to anybody. I did a whole like booktube video, I think it was 2 days ago, showing like all the books that I'm reading right now. So the Margaret Wrinkle book is called The Comfort of Crows. It's 52 weeks of this woman talking about nature. She's a school teacher. She was, Alex just went in the kitchen. He's made a bunch of pizza rolls. He's watching the new Dexter, called Original. No, that's the Pretty Little Liars. I don't know what the new Dexter is called, but it's when Dexter's like in high school. He's watching that right now. He loves that Dexter show. And this is like the spinoff of it, the prequel or whatever. So anyway, I haven't even had a sip of this coffee. Hold on. So this Margaret Wrinkle book, last night I read. I almost wasn't going to, because I was like, I just want to watch these shows. And I was like, no, I want to read. And I ended up reading for 2 hours last night. Oh my God, I am so enjoying like taking my time, lighting my candles and reading at night. It's just so peaceful to me. You know, I don't know that that's necessarily how I would define, like I'm really going through this period right now. Like I said it in my Peterisms video today. It's like, I feel like when people ask me about self-care, like I can tell other people like what, like how to manage self-care, but like for when it comes to me, I don't really know. Like when I'm having a conversation with somebody and they're like, I'm like, yeah, like you should do this, but when it comes to me, like I don't really know like how to define that, like what that looks like for me. I have like really no idea, in all honesty, you know? It's the weirdest thing. I used to think it was like taking baths, doing face masks, taking naps, watching TV shows, reading books, and I do think that's part of it. But I think that that's like a different part of my self-care, if that makes sense. I almost feel like that's kind of like daily self-care, whereas like the bigger self-care for me is like, you know, I'm somebody that it's very easy for me. I've done a very good job the last couple years. I think after the accident, it like completely changed my perspective, and I was like, you're wasting so much time like in negativity and trivial BS, like, you know, in my personal life and whatever, that it completely changed my perspective. It's interesting because so many people in my life today tell me like how calm I am. Like Tanya's always like, you are so calm anymore, you know, like, but anyway, I think like self-care for me looks like not playing into negativity, like doing my best to not stress, worry, and fear about things, setting boundaries and limits with people in my life, which I have done for a while. I am like, and not even, it's interesting, like, you know, I think like, because I have a drama channel, I think people would think that by nature, like I'm a pretty gossipy person. And like in my personal life, I wouldn't say that I wasn't. Like back in the day, oh yeah, I was. But even like with Tanya and I, like the other night, like I noticed that like we just don't really like, I don't know, it's just we talk about, when we would talk about friends of ours and stuff, we don't still even really do that anymore. I don't know. It's just like I feel like none of my friends, we really do that, you know? I don't know. I don't even really think it was like a pointed effort not to do that. I think like I just have really had to kind of like evaluate, like, you know, really looking at where am I putting my energy in 2025 has really been a huge part of self-care for me, you know? A big part of like, where am I putting my energy in a day? You know, like today, so I had therapy today and I got done at like 10 till 3, maybe 5 till 3, and I got done and then I wanted to make this drama video. Well, I texted Alex and I was like, what time are you getting done today? And he hadn't texted me back yet because he was in a meeting. And so I knew he was probably going to come home a little bit earlier, but and I should have got up early to make videos before therapy, and I just didn't, because I stayed up too late last night watching Silo 2. But I had literally videos I wanted to make on every one of my channels today, you know? And so I like prepared for this video that I was making for my drama channel. And my plan after that was like I was gonna get done and then I was gonna do my PO unboxing. I was gonna do this review. I haven't posted a review video. It looks like, I looked up last night, I think it's 29 days I haven't posted a review video, which is crazy because I used to post, I missed that channel. I've got tons of stuff to review over there, you know? I wanted to do that. I wanted to do this Peterisms video today, and then I was like, because I'm trying to like maybe go back and forth between my Peterisms and my booktube video. And then I was like, if I get done with all that, then I'll post a booktube video too, because I have like 3 or 4 that I want to make. Well, I got upstairs to the bedroom, and Alex told me that he was leaving work and he had like one thing that he had to do on his way home, and then he would be home. And I said, okay, I might have to film like when you get home if that's okay. And he's like, yeah, no problem. Because he's always like, if it's like early, he'll be like, you know, where do you want me to go, whatever. So, anyway, I got that video done, and I got my Peterisms video done, and then I just was kind of like, you know what, like I am not gonna, it was already at that point, it was like 5:30, and I was like, I'm just not gonna force it tonight. I'm just not, like, I'm not gonna force it. And at first I was kind of like, I've talked about this before, I was kind of like, God, I wanted to get more videos done. I was like, you know what, there's tomorrow. Alex has like this whole day thing that he's doing tomorrow, and then he's gonna go hang out with his friend afterwards. So, yeah, so anyway, hopefully tomorrow I'll film more videos than I did today, but I just was like, you know what, it's just like, I always have like a plan in my head. Like in my head, I'm like, you know what, like, if I have 3 full weeks for February, like starting on Monday, and if I film Monday through Friday on most of my channels, that will still be more videos than I posted like last month. So, you know, it's like, I don't know, but I think it's hard when like I have videos that I want to make. I already have like my videos already, like my list and everything made for tomorrow. So I'm excited about that to film. But I wanted to film more videos than that today, but I was just like, you know what, I just need to like let Alex be relaxed, come out here. I didn't want it to be pitch black when I was like, you know, filming outside. I didn't want it to be so dark. So I was like, you know what, just film your vlog and just relax tonight. And then tomorrow, you know what, get up a little bit earlier, put a little bit more effort into getting up earlier tomorrow. We'll see what happens, you know what I mean? But when it comes to self-care, that's not really a part of the self-care thing. I was actually talking to my therapist about it today, and he was like, I think it's so good for you. He's like, you always seem so happy when you talk about like YouTube and making videos. He's like, I think that is like such a good, like, I think making YouTube videos is part of my self-care in all honesty. The fact that I get to call it my job on top of that, like, it doesn't even feel like a job. I don't even know how to explain it, you know? My neighbor is outside getting his mail. The mail already came because I got it, so he must not have got any mail. But he did get a new pair of Hokas because they're bright blue and white. But the fact that I get to do this is, you know, and call it a job is like a really cool thing. And my therapist was like, he was like, you know, I think that this is like, we were talking about self-care today, because I was like, I just don't really know what it means. And so what I mean by like reading books, watching shows, lighting candles, relaxing, taking naps, all that kind of stuff, taking a shower, putting on my, like, you know, clean pajamas, all that kind of stuff, like, that's not necessarily it is self-care. But what I mean is that that's like, none of those things, like when somebody commented and said, like, you going on a trip is not going to fix your anxiety, which was like 100% the truth. But me going on a trip is going to get me into a state of mind that might help my anxiety, like, figure it, you know, like, work through it a little bit, or it might like ease me a little bit or whatever. Me reading, me watching a TV show relaxes me to the point that, like, I think I have more appreciation for my life, if that makes sense. And having more appreciation for my life teaches me to slow down and to do a little bit more self-care. I don't know if that's making sense what I'm saying at all. It's like reading a book. I'm just talking about like a fictional book. Reading a fictional book or any kind of book is not going to be, it's not going to take care of all my issues and be self-care. But it's one thing that will get me into a better state of mind. Setting boundaries, not letting negativity in, like those things, like reading a book, taking a nap, taking a shower, you know, getting up, making the bed, making the house cozy, all that stuff puts me in a better mood. And then that better mood allows me to appreciate my life more, allows me to feel my worth more, and allows me to realize the importance of life and each day of life, to the point where then I feel more prepared to set the boundaries, to not allow negativity and toxicity into my life, to really ask myself, where am I directing my energy? Does that make sense? So what I'm saying is, like, me watching a TV show is not going to do it. But I will say this, you know, when I get up from my nap and I spend like an hour or two reading, like with the candles lit, and it's like, that is such an enjoyable part of my night for me now. And then going in and watching a show, like, I'm having so much fun, like, between the hours of like 12:30 and 6. Like, I'm just so happy. I came out here a couple times last night. I just like stood, I said my prayers last night out here. And I just kind of came out here and I just like looked after I was like reading, you know, this Margaret Winkle book. I was just kind of like walking around the yard and hoping that, you know, a little squirrel would run by or something like that. But anyway, this Margaret Winkle book that I'm reading, it's so interesting because, like, every chapter is so different. I'm almost, like, done with the spring part of it. I'm, like, whipping through this book. And I'm also whipping through that Dry book by Per Jacobson. I'm, like, more than halfway done with that book. So last night I read like 10 chapters of that book. The Margaret Winkle book last night I read like 5 or 6 chapters. So the ones I read last night, she's like, it's in spring, and she's talking about, well, she talked about all different kinds of things, but it really like is making me want to, it makes me realize reading the book, like, I'm not somebody that loves camping. I'm not somebody that loves that, but I was thinking back about like walking through like the woods. Remember when I used to do those Richie Woods, when I used to do those Richie Woods videos, and I really enjoyed that, you know? I'm not going to take an Uber to Richie Woods and walk. I know somebody else suggested, so I'm just going to say, like, I'm just not going to do that, you know? But there's places around here that are like, I mean, not really, but there's some wooded areas back here, and so to see like wildlife and animals and all that kind of stuff, right? And I'm really thinking about giving this book to my neighbor across the street when I'm done with it, or buying her own copy, because there's so much talk about flowers and different flowers, and just like, it was talking about in there about like getting your hands in, I did not know this, she talks about this whole study done about getting your hands in the earth and the ground and like certain like things that are in like the soil and whatever release like serotonin in your body, and that it's really supposed to help a lot with like mental health and calmness and happiness and things like that. And I was like, it was this whole thing that she talked about in there. I was like, I didn't even know that, right? But then she talks about like that when people would see this one flower coming, it was like the first flower of spring, and I can't remember what she calls it. It has like 10 different names, but she calls it something. It's like a weed flower, like a dandelion, but it's something different. And she's like, you know, people were dealing with harsh winters back then, and so they like had postponed like weddings and funerals and things like that. And so she was like, the way she speaks is so beautiful, and she'd be like, the preachers would come with like whatever the plant was called with the growing of this plant, because they would come to the towns to perform the weddings and the funerals because now it was warm enough to do those things, and they've been waiting through like the long winter, the cold winter. It's just her perspective on things is so interesting. I just love this book. But last night I was really thinking about like how like last year we just didn't really use the back patio at all. Oh, when I was at the dentist's office yesterday too, out the window, so it's kind of like in this wooded area, the dentist's office that I go to, the window that I was looking out of, they had like this one of those sticks that has like those things on either side of it, you know, like those metal rods, and they had 2 bird, you know, feeders on either side of it. And I said, oh my God, those bird feeders are so cool and whatever. And they're like, the dental hygienist that came in before the dentist was like, yeah, like in the summer and in the spring, like, you know, when they're full, like, it's like there's a lot of birds out there. And so I said, well, part of the problem might be that they're not full and it's winter and birds need to eat. And she just started laughing, you know. All these people are like running down. I mean, this is like the 3rd or 4th person that's ran down here. Like, is there a race going on through our neighborhood? I should be out there running, shouldn't I? So anyway, that got me thinking about like the bird feeders. Like, do you remember a couple years ago, I love like the squirrel picnic table that, you know, somebody sent me. I think Sarah had one and somebody sent it to me. I can't remember how I got it. But anyway, it's all warped. I bought a new one and I never put it out a couple years ago. I have bird feeders I've never put out there. Part of the problem was that I had a couple bird feeders out on the back porch, and then like I just had them sitting out there. And so I would put like the you know, the bird suet things in there, and then like an animal would come overnight and just like knock it over and like break into it and take it out. So, but she also talks a lot about bird baths, and I did not realize like how much like and like my neighbor across the street, she has like all these things for pollinators, like, you know, bees and butterflies and stuff like that, because she thinks it's really, she always talks about how important it is to the gardens. And so there's just a calmness that comes with me, like when I go to her garden, or just like when I walk at night, I'm like looking at the trees and stuff. There's just a calmness that comes over me. So it's like, I really think that this spring and summer, I really want to make like the back patio, like I really want to enjoy it and use it this summer. Like I've said that the last couple of years and I really haven't. We need a new couch. Like our couch out there is like, it's like this kind of like, you know, fake wicker, and it's like, so I don't know, maybe not this summer. We'll have to see how much we use it, but maybe next summer if we use it enough. But I think this summer I'm gonna get like a bird bath for out there. If I use it a lot, I'm gonna get a heated bird bath for next fall and winter. And then I think I'm gonna get some other bird feeders out there, and I'm gonna get those hanging things and have them out there like right behind our patio. And I just want to make it like really nice. I also think one of the things I'm gonna do, and I looked last night and it said March and April is when you want to put wildflower seed down. I told this story before, but like when we were moving, like the summer before, the spring before we moved into the house that I grew up in, so it was heavily wooded behind our yard, or behind our house. Like our cul-de-sac backed up into the woods, and we had a creek behind us, and it went for miles and miles and miles, this woods. My aunt came out there, and with like bags, I was afraid that the tripod was gonna fall, and then it did, and then it took me forever to get it steady. Okay, what was I talking about? My Aunt Kathy. Okay, so my Aunt Kathy, I don't know when it would have been, but it was before we moved into the house that I grew up in. And I can see her out in the woods, and she had like these, you know, bags of wildflower seeds that she was just spreading everywhere. And so the entire time that I grew up in that house, like way until, you know, I was older, I mean, all the way through. I mean, we moved in the house when I was 4 or 5, like almost 5. And then, I mean, I moved out when I was 18, so 14 years. Every summer, the woods was just filled, you know, with flowers. And I think I want to get a bunch of wildflower seeds And I looked, and like late March, early April is when you want to put them down and plant them. I think I want to do the same thing that my aunt did, and I want to just like go through this little wooded area back here. It might not, none of them might even take, or they might. But I'm gonna buy a couple bags of seed, and I'm just gonna go through the woods, like from where it starts, like her end, all the way back down there, and I'm just gonna spread them. And we have like, I mean, that woods back there is probably like 20 or 30 feet thick. It's not that thick. But I just thought it would be so pretty to look back out over there. So I really want to do some stuff. On my phone's inside. I really want to do some stuff this summer with the back porch. I want to like have like candles out there. I think even want to maybe watch some shows out there and stuff this summer and read out there on the back patio. I want to rearrange the whole area. So I don't know what I need to do. I don't really necessarily want to like buy a new couch out there and then not use the couch. I would love to buy a new couch, but I don't want to buy a new couch and then not use it. I did not sit on that back patio once last year. So I don't want to buy a new couch or new furniture and then not use it and spend the money on it. You know what I mean? So anyway, the book is just like, it's the one book that I didn't really think that, I don't know. I just didn't. I mean, she talks about like, she was in there last night talking about how like cardinals pick out their mates. This is the thing about it is, I know it sounds really boring. Like, oh, she's talking about birds and all this kind of stuff, but it's all in the context of like, she compares it to her life. She compares it to like raising her kids, and she compared like one part she's talking about like her grandmother was a school teacher, and that she would walk down this road. I think she says in there she never even met her grandmother, but she like would walk down this road with her mom and her uncle like running after her and like the dog, and she can like the plants that were growing on, and she's always telling like stories about her life in regards to like nature and things that happen with nature. It's a really cool book. It's so interesting because like I said, it's not the book that I thought like if I picked it up it would have like, I really thought I would be so bored with it. I thought I would be so bored with it. And it's like every night, the first thing I read is the Raymond Carver short stories because I never know what to expect. Last night was another murder one. I just bought 3 more Raymond Carver books. I'm loving the short stories in there. And they're short. They're like 8 pages long, 6 to 8 pages. But I'm just reading the story at night and the Raymond Carver short stories. I kind of want to read some of them out here this spring and summer. So I'm like wanting to wait. And also the Jill McCorkle short stories. Because they're kind of spring and summer stories. Like a lot of them take place outside. So I kind of want to read them outside. If I had to recommend one book for you, well, other than the book that Teresa got me, Teresa direct messaged me last night, so I got to thank her personally, but other than the books that Teresa got me, well, that book that The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse, that book is fantastic. But other than that book, the one book that I would recommend so far for 2025 is definitely The Comfort of Crows by Margaret Wrinkle. I mean, it is, if you have anybody that loves nature, even if it's a camper hiker, they would love it. If it's really more geared for somebody though that like is a bird watcher or loves to garden. And it doesn't even have to be somebody that like is like a strict gardener. It doesn't have to be somebody like that. I mean, listen, I'm not a strict gardener. It's not like I'm walking around identifying birds, and I'm loving this book just because I feel like it's slowing things down for me. I think what I might do when I finish it is, I think I'm going to buy her a copy because she really wants one. I was thinking about giving it to her, but I think I'm going to keep my copy of it. And then next year, when like it's the first week of winter, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to read it in real time. I'm going to read like 1 chapter a week for an entire year. I don't know, like, it's really hard to do that, though, because I get done with a chapter, and then I'm like, I want to read another chapter. Like, I could have sat there last night, and I could have just, like, read the whole thing last night. So, last night, I read a story in the Raymond Carver book, What We Talk About When We Talk About Love. Has anybody read any of his short stories? It's like an avid, I want to read his autobiography, too. Or it's not his autobiography, the biography about him. There's, like, a really famous biography about him that I want to read when I get done with some of these short story books. But I feel like I should move over there in the lighting, because the lighting is, I know some people are like, no, I kind of like it, it's mood lighting. We'll wait a couple minutes. But anyway, the stories are so bizarre. Like, the one I read last night, I thought it was going to be like a kind of like a spinoff of the one I talked about the other day when it was the 2 guys and they murdered, the one guy murdered those girls, because it's about these 4 guys, and they are like, they go fishing up in the mountains in these creeks, in this creek, the Natchez River, and they find this girl's body floating in the water, I feel like I should turn this off now and go over there in that chair because I feel like it's getting really, really dark. Okay, I'm gonna do that. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I sat down in this chair and I was like, oh my God, this chair is so cold. This chair is so cold. But I turned the lights on inside. Remember little Boo Radley would come over and visit me at the door? I miss that. I turned the lights on inside and I turned the carriage lights on out here. And I came out here, I was like, it's so cozy out here. It's so cozy. I'm ready for the warm weather so I can sit out here again. Maybe not until 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, but so I was checking my Peterisms video to see if it was done yet, and I was like, it's not, my drama video is not done uploading. And I was like, okay, we'll get another battery. Alex is still watching Dexter. I was like, get another battery inside. Well, both of my batteries are charging. Remind me, I need to buy, I know somebody will put it in the comment section, Peter, I need to buy more batteries. So comment on that so I don't forget later. Because I only have 3 batteries now because I got rid of the batteries that like were like, you know, dying at 45 minutes. So I got rid of those, but now I only have 3 batteries. So at any given time, like 2 is charging. So the one that I made the drama video on, it was almost an hour, so it's charging. The Peterisms video was 20 minutes. I just put it in the charger and brought the new one out. So I have 3 batteries. This is my 3rd battery. The other 2 are charging. So one of them will probably be charged by the time if this battery dies. But anyway, the whole time that I'm inside, Alex is like, do you need the light on? I was like, yeah, just for a second. So I was looking at my videos and stuff like that to see how far they were. I was like, Raymond Carver short story. I was like, don't forget it. Don't forget where you were at when you were like talking about this. Okay. So I don't know if anybody's read these short stories or not. I don't really know how to explain it. I mean, he's called like this, you know, literary phenomenon of short stories, like from his time period, like the American storyteller kind of thing. The stories are so interesting to me. It's like one of them will just be like a couple having a cup of coffee and talking about. Well, the first one that I remember is probably not the first one that I read in this collection, but the first one that I remember is this guy that like, I think his wife had passed away and he put like all the furniture from the entire house out in the yard. It was like, but he set it up like it was in the house, like the living room, the record player was playing, and this young couple came along. Do you remember me talking about this? I read it this summer. I don't know why it still sticks out at me. And then he was like, do you guys, it was called something about they dance all night long or something like that. And he was like, do you guys want a drink? And then there were like 3 of them are sitting there drinking because they're like, he's selling the furniture. And so they like sit down, they're like trying out the bed and they sit on the couch. And then he plays the record player outside. He's playing the record player out. They don't talk about where it's plugged in or anything like that. He just plays the record player. And so then the couple start, he's like, you should dance to the music. So the couple, it's just like so bizarre. It's like, anyway, but this one was about this guy. So he's married to this woman. It's kind of from her point of view. And they have a son named Dean. And the son's kind of like, I don't know, they don't really even say how old he is, but I'm guessing he's probably like 12 or 13 or something like that in the book. But he's not really a part of the story. So anyway, the husband's like reading these newspapers. So he and his 3 friends go on this fishing trip. And when they're on this fishing trip, I think it's the Natchez River, they find this girl's body floating in the river, naked. But they decide that they don't want to hike back down the mountain because, they don't want to hike back down the mountain because they've taken all day hiking up there to find this fishing spot so that they can like fish and drink and smoke cigarettes and all this kind of stuff. So they stay up there for like 2 days and 2 nights fishing with this girl's body. Like they get a rope and they tie her to the side of the river so she won't float away. But then they don't feel like the necessity. Like it's so interesting because it's all like, it's just very like mundane. I mean, it sounds like it's true crime. It's not. It's told like a short story. I mean, it's just like, anyway. So then when they get done with their fishing trip is when they go to the nearest, you know, phone booth and they call the police. And then they're like, we'll stay here to give directions to whoever comes out here. So then there's a whole article written about it in the newspaper. And he's like obsessed with reading these articles. So then you think like he did it, right? Because of the previous short story that I just read. And his wife is just like, she remembers this story of this girl that was like murdered and left for dead when she was growing up. And it reminds her of this story. And she's just kind of like, it changes like all of these stories are about like people changing their perspectives and how they look at people. It's so interesting. And so like the way that she looks at her husband just changes overnight. Like that he would just leave this woman up there. Like, it's so interesting. It's like, it's very much about like the meaning of life, objectification of people and stuff, but from a completely different point of view than you would ever think, right? And so he goes off to work. That night she sleeps on the couch, but they don't ever have a conversation about it. She just is like, I'm sleeping on the couch, like, somebody is stopping like right in front of me. What is going on? That was really weird. They like slowed down and like took off. But so anyway, she like sleeps on the couch. She doesn't really explain why, but you know it's something different because they don't. And they talk at some point they have like sex in the short story, and I mean it's not graphic. She says something in there about it. Like I think she says something like, he kept on like tapping at me, so I opened my legs or something. I mean it's like his writing is very like Hemingway-esque too. It's like the sentences. There's not a lot of detail. The sentences are very short. So then she goes to this girl's funeral. And she leaves a note for her husband with her ring on it. And she goes to this funeral. And then they say at the funeral that they found the murderer. Like, they found who did it. And so then she knows it's not her husband. But she's already kind of, like, she is convinced, you think, that, like, it was he and his friends that did this to this girl. But then it's not really about that. It's really about the fact of, like, they would just leave her up there for these days while they were, like, fishing and stuff. It's just so interesting. It, like, changes everything about how she thinks. But she doesn't even say that. You just know it from reading the story. It's so beautifully done. And she just is done. But then she kind of is like, this woman says something to her at the funeral about, like, she used to give the girl Cokes and cookies when she was a little girl and babysat her. And, like, this whole thing changes, like, she's, like, basically, like, well, what am I going to do if I leave my husband? He's not who I thought he was. And so she comes home, and then, like, their son is playing in the backyard, and he says something about, he's, like, trying to kiss her and stuff. She's like, do it quick. And that's, like, how the story ends. It's just, like, I don't know, it's so interesting. It's just, like, these glimpses into these people's lives. I loved the Joan Didion book that I wrote, Slouching Towards Bethlehem, but those were essays. These are short story, like fictional short stories that are very similar. Like, if you like Joan Didion, if you like David Sedaris, you would love these too, but they're not humorous. They're not humorous at all. Oh, there's some delivery truck. Am I getting one of my packages? Is this a Stevie Nicks t-shirt? Oh my God, if this is the tripod, I'm breaking it out right now. But anyway, so I always read that one first, and then I read the Margaret Rankle book, and I loved it. And then I read Dry, and I sat there and I read like 8 chapters. I was like, okay, these other books. So then I read like 4 chapters of Maximum Ride. I'm like in the last third of it, so hopefully I can finish it in the next week, because I gotta finish that book. I've been reading it forever. I like it. I really do. I think like any of the James Patterson books, I think, are books that you have to read in 3 or 4 days. Like, you can't just, like, string them out, like, 2 chapters at a time. You just can't. And then I read 2 chapters, I think, in that book, The Deep, that I'm reading, by Nick Cutter. It's really good. But that's going to be a book that's going to take me a while, because it's a really long book, and I'm only reading like a chapter or 2 at a time. When I finish some of these other books, I'll probably like dive a little deeper into that. The chapters are really, really short. So anyway, what did we do last night? What was last night? We watched Housewives last night. Oh, we watched The Real Housewives of New York reunion, and it was the second of 2 parts. I thought it was going to be 3 parts, but it was only 2 parts. We got done with that. We watched that. That whole show just makes me sad anymore. I loved the new cast, and now, like, this season is just, like, I'm so confused by everything and how I feel about people, and, I don't know, it just is, if you watch it, you'll know what I'm talking about. I don't want to ruin it for anybody if they haven't watched it yet. So we finished that, and then we watched Traitors UK, season 2. We had 1 episode left. We had the finale. We watched that last night. Oh my God, it was so good. But I was really, really sad. Again, I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but if you I don't want to say anything, because, like, Alex told me, like, who won season 1. It's good. It's good. Just, if you're unsure about the ending, Google stuff. I'll just tell you that. Because Alex and I were both on Google last night looking up stuff. Like, are these people still friends? And all this kind of stuff. It was good. It was really a good ending. So we watched that. And then after that, Alex was like, do you want to watch... Like, Salt Lake City was recording, I think, and then we have Beverly Hills. I'm so bored with Beverly Hills this season, and I'm so over Dorit, and I know that that's not a popular opinion, but I'm over Dorit. I think I'm going to make a video about it. That might be my drama video tomorrow. So, I have, like, 2 different things. So I was like, So I was like, I'm bored of Beverly Hills. Like, I'm over it. It's like, they do this every season with Beverly Hills the last couple of years. It's like one storyline, carry it through the whole season. And this season, it's about Kyle versus Dorit. I'm just over it. Salt Lake City, this is the third part of the reunion, so that will finish that too. So we finished New York last night, and we finished... I just love listening to sounds. It's one of the Margaret Winkle things too. It's not like necessarily like sirens, but just like sounds, and I don't know, like she talks a lot about bird calls and stuff like that. I just like sitting outside listening to sound. I mean, I always have, but like I think I'm noticing things more now. I think it's making me more aware of like things that I'm noticing in the world, if that makes any sense. But anyway, so after that, Alex was like, well, what do you want to do? It was early. It was like 9. I said, I really would like to take a nap, because then I can take a nap and I won't sleep till like 1 o'clock in the morning. So he was like, okay. And I was like, what are you going to do? And he had Love Island to watch. Did they put like 4 episodes a day up or something of that show? So he had Love Island. So he came upstairs, and I laid down. I think I set my alarm for 10:30 or 10:45, I can't remember. And he was watching Love Island. When I got up right when my alarm went off. And I don't remember what time it was. It was before 11. And he was already asleep for the night. So I got up and came downstairs. And I think that's when I read. Anyway, I watched something else too. Anyway, I read forever. I read for like 2 hours last night. What did I do before that? I think I was like looking up stuff on the computer or something like that, like to buy stuff. Because I don't think I started reading until like 12:30. But I didn't get up I got up way before that. So anyway, I lit the candles, and then I read, and then after that I watched Silo. And I have 2 episodes left. So 7, 8. So I watched episode 7 and 8 last night. And tonight I have, do I have 1 episode left? Maybe I have 1 episode left. Maybe I watched 7, 8, and 9 last night. I don't remember. I still am not caught up on Southern Hospitality, so I need to do that, because if I don't watch it tonight... Oh my god, you know what? Matlock and Elsbeth come out tonight, too. Oh, the new Traitors comes out... Oh my god, Traitors comes out tonight. It's going to be a good TV watching night. And then tomorrow Alex has all this stuff to do, so I will probably film during... the day tomorrow while he's doing that. And then I don't know what we're doing tomorrow night. He's going to hang out with his friend and her daughter tomorrow afternoon, because he's like, I'll do that and then you can film. And I was like, okay. So tomorrow night we'll either watch TV shows, or he doesn't have any plans this weekend. One of his friends is with like her fiance and his family in, I think they're in Belize. And then like all of his other friends, like his one friend has her daughter this weekend, so she doesn't usually do stuff when she has her daughter. And then I think they're going to brunch or something tomorrow, the 3 of them. He said either brunch or they're going to just go like over to her, hang out at her apartment. And then I can't remember what is. I bet he doesn't have any plans this weekend. I said we should maybe like see what your mom's doing. She always has so many plans. But I was like, you know, if she wants to do something on Saturday night, maybe we could do something with your mom, or you know, go over and see your aunt, grandma, or something like that. So we might do that this weekend, or we might just stay here and relax. I don't know. These weather channels I watch, I did not watch the videos yet. You know, Max Velocity, and I like Max Velocity more now than I mean, I like Ryan Hall, y'all, whatever his channel's called. I like his personality more, but Max Velocity's weather updates seem better to me. I don't know how to explain it. I like both of them. They both seem like nice guys to me. But anyway, one of them just put out a video like a couple hours ago that said big snow coming, and I haven't watched that one yet. So maybe we will be getting a big snowstorm. I don't know. But tonight, I don't know. We'll probably watch some shows. He's like deep in watching Dexter right now. He might just, sometimes he'll be like, you know, I don't want to watch Housewives tonight. We'll just wait till tomorrow. So he might just want to watch that. If he does, then I'm going to finish Shiloh tonight. And then somebody commented on my video, a couple people commented on my video or DM'd me, I don't know. But Tanya texted me last night and was like, are you watching Paradise yet? I think it's on Peacock or Hulu. And it's like a dystopian show. I don't know if it's just 4 episodes or just the first 4 episodes are out. I don't know, but Tanya said 4 episodes. That's all she said. So I might start watching that too. Prime Target I want to watch on Apple. There's like 20 shows I want to watch. I still want to watch the last 2 Harlan Coben shows. Well, there's one on Amazon Prime, but I'm talking about the Netflix Harlan Coben shows. I want to watch those last 2. And a new show just came out on Netflix. It's like a Swedish show or something. It literally just came out this week. I want to watch that too, but I want to finish Silo. Season 2 of Silo. Somebody commented on my video and they said, Peter, you're finally watching it. I told you to watch it months ago. So thank you for that. Or weeks ago. But anyway, you're right. You did. So many people, well, it was funny because when I would talk to people, they'd be like, it's really, really good. Or no, it's like so bad. Like I couldn't get into it. So I didn't really know. I think season 2 of Silo is 100 times better than season 1. The mystery of it all is so much better. Like, you don't really know what's going to happen. I mean, I'm assuming that there's going to be a season 3 because, like, I'm almost at the very end. And it's like so many different storylines are going on that there's like no way they can tie it up, you know, in an episode or two. So yeah, I mean, there has to be like a 3rd season to it, which I'm down for because I love it. I think the show is fantastic. What else do I have to watch? So tonight I got Found comes out tonight too. I hate saying that, but it's like the last 2 episodes of Found were pretty good. I really need, okay, so I'm gonna definitely finish Silo tonight, but then after that I'm definitely gonna read tonight, unless I would sleep till like 1 o'clock in the morning or something like that. I mean, I will be taking a nap at some point. I love my naps. Last night when Alex was watching this show, it's like so cozy for me when he's got all of his pillows around him. He's like sitting there and like I like am turned to, like, you know, usually turn towards him, and I don't know, it's just so cozy. Our house is so cozy. I think that's one of the things I was like thinking about last night with the back patio. It's like, it's a usable space that I don't use in the spring and the summer, you know? And if I made it really nice out there and got a bunch of plants and stuff like that, it could also be like a really cute filming area. I just don't, like, this is one of the things, people are like, why don't you film out there? Part of it is, like, she works a lot. Like, my neighbor next door, she works on her patio a lot, because she works from home too. So she works on her patio a lot. So she sometimes is just like sitting out there on her computer. Like, I don't want to be necessarily filming. Like, I don't want to disrupt her, you know? And then also, like, they a lot of times have their grandkids, their grandsons over here in the summer. So they're out back playing. So it's like not really, you know, it's not really a great place to be like filming. Out here, it's like so isolated. Like, so many, you know, my neighbors, I'll be like something about filming them, but like, we don't even hear you when you're on the front porch. Because it's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like isolated up here. Plus, it's like I don't really feel like I see people, you know, unless they're like walking by. It's like, because the 2 walls are here. So, you know what I mean? Unless like she comes over and says hi, or they come over and say hi. It's like across the street I see my neighbors. But other than that, it's like kind of secluded up here. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like real open in the backyard, you know? But I do really want to make the back patio. Like, I really, like, I wanted to do it last year and I didn't put any energy into it. The battery just went to the halfway mark. So this year, I really want to, I was like, did I already use this battery? And that's why I feel like it's going short early. But this year I really want to make the patio really, really nice and stuff like that. I also have to change I mean, we've been changing the sheets, but I need to change the comforter on the bed because we've had that plaid comforter. I've like washed it twice and I keep on using it because it's just so cozy. I'm real into the cozy in winter, right? But I feel like it's time to, I mean, we have like 4 plaid comforters down the basement. We have a blue one that I love. Alex was washing a comforter the other night. I have a bunch of comforters, so I feel like I need to like change all the bedding up. I'd like to do that in the next day or 2. I just love that flannel red comforter. It doesn't even feel Christmassy to me as much as it's just cozy. I just love it. And then I have the blue fleece blanket up there instead of the Christmas one. I just fold it every day when I'm making videos and I put it off to the side. So, yeah. It's been a good February so far. It's been really fun. Oh, talking about new channels on my videos. I said I was going to say something about that. So when I was talking to my therapist today, I was telling him that like I wanted to like change, you know, things up with some of my channels and do some things differently. I mean, nothing drastically, but I'm having so much fun with my Peter Watches TV channel that I'm thinking about, I feel like it just would be natural to go from there. I don't want to like I know people will be like, well, you should just keep the drama over there. And I might do that. I might, if I do it, I might have the drama be over on my Peter Watches TV channel. But at the same time, like, I want that just to be reactions. I don't necessarily want it to turn into because then it'll become that. It'll be like Sister Wives drama or Real Housewives drama. I just want it to be kind of like a TV reaction channel, true crime, everything, right? So I'm thinking about doing like Housewives, Sister Wife drama over on my my Peter Monn channel. I would love to get, you know, do the true crime and stuff again, but when I watch other channels that do it, like the way that I feel like they do it well, to be honest with you, there's not a lot of true crime channels that I like. First of all, I don't feel like they're putting a lot of new information out there that's not already out there, which is fine. I like some cases I like to hear over and over and over again, but and they take so many notes and stuff like that, and I do take notes like on Sister Wives and stuff like that. But with true crime, it's like, I don't want to just like read Wikipedia pages and read like articles and take notes and regurgitate what's already out there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to do that. If I'm going to do true crime on my Peter Monn channel, I want to do it in a completely different way. If anybody has suggestions of something, of a way to do true crime that's not being done out there, or something that's a different kind of like approach to it, please put it in the comment section below or email me, because I'm like open to that. But you know, I wanted to do some videos about nostalgic things over there. This is the thing. When I do anything outside of drama on my drama channel, it's like people get very confused. And then they just like leave in masses. And it's just like, they just aren't interested in it. And then they say, people say, why do you talk about the same 5 or 6 people? But when I don't talk about the same 5 or 6 people, people aren't interested in it at all. So if I do talk about the same 5, it was very telling to me that like my most viewed video on my drama channel from like, I looked the other day, is my Laura Lee video. I mean, that was so weird to me. I can remember doing that video that day. It was about her closing her brand down. I thought, this video is not going to get any views. It's my most viewed video in like the last 3 weeks. 2 weeks, maybe. I was like, this is so weird to me. And I was talking to somebody else about it, and they're like, yeah, because a lot of your followers used to watch Laura Lee. Which is true, I know that. But a lot of, I mean, it's the same thing with like when I do a Trisha Paytas video or whatever. It's like, but I think people are rather bored of all that stuff too. They're not bored of those people. They still watch it. I mean, Trisha gets great views on her podcast and stuff like that. Or, you know, I think Jeffree Star still has quite a following, and all, you know, Shane Dawson does well on his podcast and stuff. But I don't think people really care about the drama of those people anymore. You know what I mean? So then it's like, okay, well, what do I do with that channel? What do I change that channel to? I don't really know. So, or what do I do with it? Do I keep on doing the drama and then just add some other things, and then it becomes very confusing to people? I don't know. If you guys have any suggestions, please let me know. I'm open to anything. I mean, I love doing the videos over there, but I don't really know what to do. And so I was talking to my therapist today, and he was like, okay, so if you won like $100 million in the lottery, I said, I would vlog every single day, and I would just watch TV shows. And I would do my Peter Watches TV channel and, you know, whatever. He goes, okay, but like your second month, what would you do? And I said I would just watch TV shows. He goes, so I always ask people, like, when you're doing, like, figuring out career stuff, he was like, on your third month, it's like, okay, when you're getting back to normal, you've traveled everywhere, you've done everything you want to do, what will you do your third month? He goes, I said, but I love to watch TV. He goes, so I would recommend, like, you start, you know, like a TV channel. And I go, but I already have a TV. He goes, I know, you already have a TV channel. I go, and I already have a booktube channel I love to read. He goes, and you love to travel. He goes, have you ever thought about starting a travel channel? And I said, it's funny because, like, I think Alex said something about that when we were in Mexico, and somebody else said it. And so my therapist was like, I actually watch a lot of, like, travel YouTubers. And he was like, a lot of them don't, he was like, some of them just are like presenting information and whatever. He goes, I actually think that, and they play like music. They'll like show places, and then all they do is show music over it. He goes, I actually think you would have a really like funny personality to like talk about places while you're doing it. He goes, I think it would be really, really fun for you. I go, but we don't travel that much to do a travel channel. And he goes, well, you don't really need to. And he goes, and if you started another channel, he goes, it's not like you could post over there once a month or not at all. He goes, whenever you travel, post over there, and then maybe that will turn into something for you. So I don't know, like if I was, listen, that's not a plan that I'm putting into action. 6 months from now, people will be like, Peter never started his travel channel. It's an idea that I had. It's an idea that I had. I mean, just like, if I get another dog, or when I am going to get another dog, whenever I get another dog, you know, I've always thought, like, I'd like to have a YouTube channel just about a dog, you know, because I love Nick and Ponchino. But I don't even know that I'll do that. It just kind of depends on how that all happens and what I feel like doing at that time. I know the insanity of having like 9 or 10 channels seems like crazy to people, but like, I love it. I love having different channels, you know? I do wish that, and it's all a timing thing on my part. If I got up earlier, like, in all honesty, it takes time to film the videos, but it's like, if I got up and started filming at like 11 or 12, I could have all the videos done on every single one of my channels every single day by the time that Alex gets home, period. Even including my vlog. I whip through them pretty quick when I'm doing them, and like I think we know I don't edit, you know. So it's I mean, like my review video, my Peter Does Stuff video, and let's say like a booktube video, I can do like 3 of those in an hour, you know. And then my drama video is the one that takes like the longest. I literally can get them done in like 4 or 5 hours. You know, Alex works such long days that when he comes home, I like him to be able to relax and have, you know, the house to enjoy and stuff like that. So I don't want to be like still filming here when he comes home, but I don't know. I'm thinking about that. And you know, I know that people will be like, well, why don't you get rid of one of your channels or merge your channels or whatever? I don't really know what I would do with that. Like people have suggested I merge my like booktube channel and my Peter Watches TV channel. I feel like those are completely 2 different channels. I mean, I understand that they're both like, you know, entertainment, but I don't know that I feel like they belong on the same channel. Plus, I'm very protective of each of my channels for each different reasons. You know, I know people would say, well, your Peter Does Stuff channel, you could turn into a travel channel, but I do a lot of things over there that have nothing to do with channel. I do a lot of hauls. My weight loss journey will return to that channel. I don't really know where like a travel channel would belong. Like I don't, unless I mean, people would be like, well, you could put it up on your Peter Monn channel. Well, that would be more confusing than me doing AITA videos. So if I was going to do a travel channel, I also think that if I was going to do a travel channel, it would open it up to like Alex and I taking a vacation like for 2 days, like on a, you know, Friday leave and come back on a Sunday and just go somewhere for fun for the weekend and just take a trip and then film a bunch of stuff while I'm there, you know, and whatever. I think that would be fun. I think, you know, my therapist today was like, well, people go to Louisville for the weekend and I see their videos of that, or South Carolina or whatever, and they just like film the beach or they film like a restaurant they go to. He's like, you're putting too much thought into it. And maybe I am. I mean, if I decide to start, like, this is the thing. I mean, I'm not at the place where I was a couple years ago where I was like, all worried about starting another channel. If I want to start another channel, I'm going to start another channel. If people get upset about it, people get upset about it. I don't know what to tell them. I know there will be at least one person that watches it. I know there will be at least one person that's rooting me on and being like, yeah, this is fun. I'm excited about this. You know what I mean? If I start 9 and 10 channels, you know, it'll be the same thing. Some people will be like, oh my God, he started 10 channels. Other people will be like, good for you. I don't really think, like, it's not like, you know, it's interesting because a lot of these YouTubers will like do this and then they do this and they have all these different projects going on. I don't necessarily know that me having so many channels is different than other people having different projects, like podcasts or going on tour or doing, I mean, obviously I'm not going to go on tour. Who would come and see me, you know? But like, I don't think it's a whole lot different than that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. But we'll see. It's something I'm putting into action right now. I really kind of want to focus. Last month, I really focused a lot on like taking care of myself and kind of figuring out what that looks like, and I'm figuring it out. Like I'm still in the process of figuring it out, but this month I want to get back to posting, you know, like more regularly on most of my channels and kind of coming up with kind of like a schedule of how that works. Once I do that, and then March we'll be getting ready to go to Miami for Ultra, but also like getting into regular. So if I started anything new, it wouldn't be till April or May anyway. It's one of the reasons why like Mel and I are putting off like True Crime Book Club coming back until then, because my self-care, her self-care, us figuring things out together, you know, all that kind of stuff, figuring it all out. I mean, she'll be getting, you know, she's going to get a new dog before I do. So that whole process, you know, and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, we're just, I think I'm just trying to figure out like the timing of when I would do stuff like that. I also think like I have the attitude now, and I think this changed not too long ago. It's like, it was interesting, like a lot of the Margaret Wrinkle stuff talks about like getting older and like life being short and whatever. Like life is really short. And if you want to do something, you should do it. If you want to start 22 channels, start 22 channels. I mean, if tomorrow, like, I mean, I have like dogged TikTok so much and been like, I'm so not interested in TikTok. People that told me to go to TikTok forever, part of the reason is I just don't think I could keep it that short. If tomorrow I decide to go to TikTok, okay, I go to TikTok, you know? If tomorrow I start posting shorts on Facebook or Instagram, okay, then I do, you know? I mean, I will say I have been thinking about the shorts lately ever since I, you know, talked to my nephews the other day. But I don't know, you know, like, I'll figure it out. I think when people say put it all together on one channel, or you talk about so many things on all of your, like on your vlog, you talk about TV, on your drama channel, you talk about TV, why don't you just keep it on your, I do, but I don't, you know? But I also think it makes it easier for people that like just want to watch Sister Wives coverage or TV stuff, then they, you know what I mean? Like, maybe they're not interested in a Peterisms video. You know what I mean? Like, if I put it all on one channel, I don't think that would make a lot of sense. I don't know. It makes sense to me, and that's all that matters. You know what I mean? It makes sense to me. But I don't know what I'm going to do, you know? It's just an idea we kind of threw out. I don't know. This is going to sound strange, but like when you brainstorm or you think about different things, like just talking about it kind of like inspired me today, you know, and kind of was like, oh, there's like, it just like, it opened this whole idea of like, oh, my booktube channel, I can do this, this, and this, or with this channel, I can do this and this, you know? It's like, I don't know, I just want to do fun stuff. Like doing the James Patterson, Alex Cross, like read along has been really, really fun for me because I just wanted to read those books anyway, you know? The camera stopped. I have absolutely no idea like how long this is so far, but it's like the battery has been at the halfway mark for a while. Yeah, I'm having so much fun doing that, and like people like messaging me and being like, I'm on the second book, I'm on the third book. Like I love that, you know? And it's like doing the recovery memoirs this month. That's really, really fun too because I love reading recovery memoirs. And so it's like just bringing people along for the ride of what I enjoy doing. If 2 people do it, if 1 or 2 people read the books with me, that's enough, you know? I'm having fun, and if I can introduce something to somebody else, or somebody to something else, like that's fun too, you know? I don't know. So, we'll see. I feel like 2025 holds a lot of possibility for me personally, and like doing a lot of things. I feel like I've kind of like, a little bit just been like, live your life, do what you want to do, you know what I mean? I mean, maybe this whole year is a dedication to self-care and what that looks like, and just a rebirth and taking care of myself and all that kind of stuff. I don't really know, you know? I don't know much, but I know I love you. Do you remember that song? I don't know. I don't really know. I think I lived so much of my life feeling like I had to know where I was going and what stuff looked like and how. And I think I've just kind of like let go of that and just realized that you don't really know anyway. No matter how sure you are, how much you plan, things don't necessarily fall that way, and that's life. And so I think it's important to maybe plan for the future, like as far as savings and things like that, and like preventative health, like Alex and I, you know, are talking about. I think it's important to do all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, I think that while also planning for the future, I don't want to live in the planning of the future all the time. Like, I want to be more spontaneous. I want to, you know, listen to different kinds of music, try different kinds of food, you know, like dance more often, you know, like travel more places, you know, just do more stuff, read different kinds of books. You know, I read this Margaret Wrinkle book, and it's like it's not a book that I would typically pick up, you know, and it's like changing my whole perspective about things. I want to live this year. Like, I want to live this year, you know, and I think that is just me trying a lot of new things and also doing the things that I already love, you know, and doing them more, and just, I don't know, it's like years ago I did this dream project thing. If you remember me on here, I think I did it on here, or talked about it on here. It's like, somebody mentioned it to me not long ago that they did the dream project thing, and I don't even remember really how I came up with it, but it was just like, you know, like, what are the things you want to do with your life, and like start putting attention to it. I think one of the things that I want to do with my life is spending it more with the people that I love. I think I've been a little bit isolated for the last 2 years since the accident, so I think I want to spend more time with people that I love and doing more things, and I want to spend more time doing the things I love, like watching TV shows. I already do a lot of that, but like, you know, having a way to talk about it, like on my Peter Watches TV channel, has made all the difference for me. I don't know why. You know, reading more books, like, you know, spending more time outside. I want to I don't know. I want to, like, I have gone to bed the last couple nights and laid my head on the pillow, whether it's for a nap or going to sleep, and like my thoughts are just like, I just have such a great life. My battery is flashing at me, but I just have such a great life, and I'm so grateful for it. And I have you guys to thank for a huge part of that, you know, for giving me this opportunity to have YouTube and film videos. So thank you. I appreciate it. I gotta get off here because the battery's flashing. I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Thursday. If nobody else has told you this today, I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya. What? Happy birthday, Lena.